Saddle up. We are back with the One Trick Ponies podcast. My name is Kanyon Cooksley, and I'm here with my co-host, Caleb Galloway. We are on episode 11.
Let's go.
And we finally have a lot of sports news to talk about.
Yeah, it was a super busy week. Probably 8 or 9 topics finally, compared to the last 2 weeks where it's been about 2 or 3 and we've had to stretch them for a while. So it was a refreshing news week, finally.
And it's not just one sport. There have been multiple kind of breaking news topics that have hit the headlines for basketball, for baseball, for football. We even have some soccer. And then there was some stuff we didn't even talk about. You know, we just had a UFC pay-per-view, UFC 302. There's just a lot of sports news that happened this week. And this is the stuff that gets me excited for a recording because we don't have to really, beat around the bush or kind of come up with topics on the fly. They just naturally are produced. And hopefully we know enough about them to talk about them. So
yeah,
this episode should be exciting. Caleb, I guess before we get into it, how was your weekend? What'd you do? What have you been up to?
Work as usual. Been training another new guy at work, getting ready to open our second location. Work. Saturday was fun. I kind of had a little off day. Went to an event at my job, but an off day event. So today
Isn't that a Rihanna song? Work.
Should be a Caleb Galloway song at this point. That's all I'm doing.
Put that on repeat. That on repeat.
But it's fun. I mean, I enjoy it. I don't technically work, I guess you could say. I do what I love. So is that really working? How about you? You had a good week?
Yeah. What did I do today? I guess so I've been off work for a little over a week now. I kind of just I had some paid time off that I could use, and I needed to get home anyway for some personal things. I kind of hinted on that last episode, but I go back tomorrow. I head back to Nebraska tomorrow, and then I get back to work. But now the break's been good. I was able to see some friends, and today I've kind of just been chilling and waiting for the podcast. I drove around in a convertible with my father today. That was a joyride and a half.
That was fun.
That was a joyride and a half. If there's very few people I probably trust hopping in a Mustang with, and
would you ride one with
I don't know if I. No, not even a chance. Would you ride one with me?
Not a chance.
Come on, just imagine coming home from Chantilly
in a manual Mustang. We would definitely be dead. There's no chance of survival,
dude. But it would be a fun death.
Probably
going out on top
of a mountain.
But oh yeah, but that was fun. My dad enjoyed it too. But when you live in a super tiny town in the middle of nowhere, Iowa, what can you really do with a Mustang? So like he was like, "Oh, you want to go take it for a ride?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And we drove to the town campground, and then we went to the outskirts of the town, which was 2 minutes away from my house, and then we came back to my house. So that was our little ride around.
Oh yeah,
so
that sounds fun.
So we went to the local campground, and then we went to the outskirts of the town, and then we came back home. So it was good though. But lately I've been craving baseball. We talked about last week how there's not anything super crazy going on. Well, this week, since I've been home, I've just had this itch of watching televised baseball. And out of all the things you can watch, televised baseball is probably one of the most painful things to watch, unless you're a diehard baseball fan. There are so many things. There are other sporting events that are televised. Baseball, if you ask many individuals, it would probably be at the bottom of their list. But lately, watching televised baseball has been something I've been enjoying. I just watched the Orioles. I watched the Cubs and the Reds, and then I watched the Braves and the Nationals. and I would take, for some reason, random regular season baseball over the College World Series baseball right now. Like, I don't know. I'm counting down the days till when I get to go to Fenway Park. So
I know you're soon, right?
yeah, a couple of weeks. I think the first week of July, July 9th, we're going to the Red Sox. My mother and I were going to the Red Sox and the Athletics. Hopefully, a lot of the guys for the Red Sox are actually supposed to be cleared late June. So hopefully they're back. Casas is one of them. Yoshida is one of them. So I'm hoping to at least get to see a couple of those guys play. Because right now, the lineup, I think I sent it to you on Twitter. I don't know how the Red Sox are winning games. The lineup right
A
now,
couple of those guys are like, they're no names, but they're actually playing very well.
I know all of a sudden now Emmanuel Valdez is like, he just had a 2-run or a 2 home run game against the Tigers. Rafaela had a 2 home run game against the Tigers. Devers is still being Devers. It's just a random lineup, but baseball, it's got me intrigued and interested right now. You had when I snapped the video of riding in the convertible today, you said you were having a cookout or something.
Yeah, we had a little family get together. It's nice weather
How's
out.
that?
It was good. Made some burgers, some hot dogs, typical cookout stuff, and had about 15, 20 people over and just made some good food, hung out. Not a big cookout.
I thought you were about to say I had about 15 to 20 hamburgers and hot dogs.
I'm big. I ain't that big.
I got me like a little like caught up in the. I didn't know how you were going to respond to that, but it was a good time.
It was a good time. Just kind of regular old cookout. Nothing exciting, really.
Quick questions: are you a hot dog or burger guy?
I'm definitely a burger guy.
Cheese on the burger or no?
Depends on the cheese. I hate American cheese.
So did you have cheese on your burger today?
I had a slice of deli cheddar on my burger.
Like melted though, right? Not cold. Don't be a weirdo.
Well, the burger's hot, so it melts it.
Wait, you don't like, because like usually when my dad grills burgers, he like gets cheese. He puts cheese on the burger while they're on the grill,
so like
and then he takes them off.
It depends. It depends. Like, because we were making so many burgers that we didn't know who was gonna want cheese on the burger or not, so we didn't do it this time. But like sometimes we do that. If it's like just me and my father cooking, we'll do cheese on our burgers. But like when it's a big group outing, when he's got the whole Blackstone full of burgers, he doesn't do it because it also makes a huge mess with all that cheese dripping on the Blackstone.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but you don't eat burgers with cold cheese, do you?
No.
Okay, because I just remember I like to see videos. I think I actually saw one recently, like on TikTok, of how like somebody like ordered a McDonald's. I don't go to McDonald's, but they got a McDonald's cheeseburger or something, and the cheese was like still like cold and floppy, and I was like, nah, not even a chance. Not even a chance.
I don't think I'd be
floppy cheese.
I don't think I'd be that upset about that.
That's.
I mean, McDonald's, I'd be upset, but like at home, I don't think I'd be upset. I also
texture. It's just texture thing.
I also like toast my bun. Like everything's hot on my sandwich. So like I don't.
Good.
Yeah.
And then last thing, then we'll get to sports. Do you like when you get a sub? Do you like them cold or do you like a
toasted
sub?
100% toasted. You're a freak.
So
if you're a freak, if you eat a cold sub.
So for a warm sub, I'll always do a steak and cheese. You obviously cannot get that cold. That's disgusting if you get a steak and cheese cold. But then for a cold sub, I always do like an Italian. You don't warm up an Italian.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't.
If a cold cut combo, yeah, that's warm.
No, you salami, pepperoni, ham, provolone. You do not warm that up.
I do.
That's disgusting. Warm pepperoni?
Have you ever heard of a pizza?
Pizza. I knew you were going to say that. But warm like pepperoni and salami on like a sub gets like greasy and shit.
I think you need to try it.
That's disgusting. But I'm maybe try it. I'm also very picky about my sub places. Like
You're
I don't
very
go
picky about everything.
That's true. So I might go try to give a food review on a warm Italian. That just sounds gross.
Don't say it like that. You're talking about somebody's been out in the sun.
Can I get a warm Italian?
Yes. Giovanni comes walking out the back and says, "Hey, man."
All right. Well, we got a lot to talk about. And actually, this first topic, it's all you because I'll be the first one to say I am not a soccer fan. I don't watch soccer. I don't care about soccer. But I know it's a very big time right now for soccer though. So, and you kind of brought this up and I said, "Hey, I'll let you have the
Yeah,
airtime to talk about it."
gotcha. I think I said in the first episode, I'm not a huge soccer fan. I get into it a little bit. The place I work at, like I say, I work at a sports place. So a lot of customers come in and they talk about soccer. So I've kind of learned secondhand, just absorb that knowledge. The Champions League finals was this week, specifically yesterday. Real Madrid beat Dortmund 2-0. 2-0.
Wait, hold. Is it Real Madrid? What did you used to call it?
It's Real Madrid.
Real Madrid. Yeah.
Vinny
I
Jr.
don't forget that.
scored. And Carvajal
Okay.
scored 2-0. That was all it was. Good game, match, whatever you call it, soccer people. I just feel like we should throw that in there. And Real Madrid is also going to make two big signings this offseason. They're linked to Endrick. I believe he's like 16 or 17-year-old phenom. He's like the top young player. Besides Lamine Yamal, who's obviously at Barcelona. Kind of big rookie guy. He's linked to Real Madrid. And obviously, Kylian Mbappe. Pretty sure they're going to get a signing done within the next like week or so. So a team that just won the Champions League final is going to get the phenom and arguably one of the greatest current players to add on top of Vinny Jr., Jude Bellingham, Luka Modric. It's nuts. I did see where Vinny Jr. may leave Real Madrid, and that's kind of why they're going after these guys. I don't know much about it, but I did hear that in the back burner.
Two things I'll add. I did see Jude Bellingham was named. Was he named Champions League and like most valuable player or something? Like player of the league or something?
Probably, yeah. I think he even got MVP of the Champions League.
Yeah, I think he had like I don't want to rattle off incorrect numbers, but I think like 23 goals and 10 assists.
Yeah,
Correct me if I'm wrong.
he's nuts.
My last point is soccer is just so crazy when it comes to youth. Like these 16 and 17-year-olds, and they're not like super raw. Some of these 16 and 17-year-olds can play right now and become superstars in the matter of
this kid Lamine
a
Yamal.
couple of games.
This kid Lamine Yamal, he plays for Barcelona, 16. And I know we don't ever talk about it, but the card products, he's actually a rookie in all the products this year. And he's like the number one chase. I mean, next Messi, next Ronaldo, that hype already. He's so good at 16 years old.
But soccer also does have the same thing that every other sport has in where they, they're the next big thing, and then they don't live up to those expectations because the expectations are placed so high. I remember, I don't know how many years ago, I don't know what he was being compared to if he got the same hype as this kid because I don't know who this kid is. But I just remember, is it Lukaku?
Yeah, Yusuf. Actually, he's actually playing not bad right now. Lukaku. He's definitely not where he was. Or like Ansu Fati.
Yes, Ansu Fati. There's another one. The guys that they still might be good, but when they entered the headlines and all that stuff, their hype was insane. They were being compared, oh, this is the next big signing, the next big prospect. And when they don't live up to that, then it's like, oh, like the fans get let down. But if they're still playing good and, were they as good as everybody talked about, or were they, are they actually a good athlete, soccer player, and they just didn't live up to the unrealistic comparisons to Messi and Ronaldo, so soccer, I'll never get into it, but it gets very intense. In my job, I've hired a bunch of like soccer athletes at my school, and they talk about it like,
yeah,
I give crap to this guy because he likes this team. We don't talk when we play. It gets very heated when we play, and I'm like, yo. But I guess it's just like any other sport.
Exactly.
When the Chiefs and the Raiders play, when the Chiefs and the Chargers play, when the Steelers and the Ravens play, there's always that heated rivalry, whether you're friends or not.
Yeah. I the guy I work with, he's a big Barcelona fan. So I mean, he's like die hard Barcelona fan. So every game he's got an AirPod in watching, and he'll just mumble words I can't say on this podcast anytime something happens to us. He's so passionate about it. It's awesome. I'd say soccer fans are the most passionate, probably among anybody.
Oh, and I didn't see, I didn't follow any of this Champions League stuff, but I've seen videos about how like there's a TV in like a store and everybody's surrounding the outside window watching the game on the TV. And I saw when Real Madrid scored, I don't know what goal it was, and the people that were watching on the outside, they just like went crazy and like created like a mosh pit
Yeah,
of excitement.
it's nuts. It is nuts.
Why it's essentially the biggest sport in the world.
Yeah.
There's just so many fans, and then with the division of leagues and players bouncing from here and there. I mean, I don't know the logistical stuff, but there's just such a big opportunity for fans to get involved and follow their team and whatnot, follow a certain player. So that's super cool. And then like a guy like Messi when he came over and played in Miami. Is he still in Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, there's just so many opportunity for fans if you want to become a soccer fan, things to watch. But I know when games happen, the start times are pretty grueling for some matches.
Yeah, like those overseas matches. I mean, it's like 3 or 4 a.m. over here sometimes for us, but it's something like I've always said I wanted to get into soccer pretty heavily, and I just never do. Like I keep up with it from afar, but I may watch one match a year, if that.
Yeah. I just always watch like during the Olympics or like the World Cup.
World Cup is I'll watch the World Cup like that. I feel like everybody pretty much watches that. Any casual sports fan watches the World Cup, I feel like.
Because again, then even if you don't have a international soccer team, you have USA.
Yeah.
And that's just I remember I think it was last year. The World Cup was last year, right? 2024?
I think yeah.
Or wait,
I don't know.
I think it happened last year. I don't know, but I just remember in my office, like I had like 3 laptops going from my students because they were all watching certain games and they're like, oh, USA, they need to play better or they're going to get knocked out by Wales. I'm pretty sure they talked about, I don't know. But soccer is just very passionate fan base.
Yes.
It's just very, very passionate when it comes to soccer. And so I'm happy you brought that into this because we might have some soccer fans out there.
Yeah.
And then now something that I'm a little bit more knowledgeable about, baseball. So we hinted at it last week that we didn't know the status. We didn't know the current status. We were praying it was just a tweak. We were praying it was just going to be something that, sit them out on the sidelines or in the dugout for a couple of weeks. And it's another season-ending injury for Ronald Acuna. When was his first one? 2021? His season-ending ACL?
22, I think. Because 23 was like the insane year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 22.
Well, this is his second ACL injury. He did it against the Pirates this year, and he has been shut down. The good thing, me and Caleb have kind of talked about this, is the Braves have some depth in the outfield, which is good. It's nothing crazy, nothing that will fill the role of Ronald Acuna, because even though he might have been struggling or not off to the start to begin the year, Ronald Acuna is irreplaceable. He's one of those absolute game changers. He can steal bags, hit homers, make defensive plays. Just a guy you cannot replace. So I think the Braves will be okay, but I did read into something where it's like, now with this injury, it might make the Braves panic at the trade deadline and overlook other issues that they have within their team and focus, trying to fill that void of Ronald Acuna. So I hope that doesn't happen. I think the Braves are smart enough. They're well ran. They have been successful for, in the recent time, many years. So I think they'll be okay. But you hate to see something like this, especially a guy like Ronald Acuna.
As a Braves fan, I'm devastated. That's what I'd like to say. Mm-hmm. I mean, Acuna is by far my favorite player. Guys like Harris that aren't being, last year we had, the great season we had, but they've all taken a step back a little bit this year, and Acuna going down definitely hurts. I don't think we'll make a deep postseason run now. I think if we had Acuna, we'd make it pretty far. The Mets aren't playing great, but our division as a whole is not playing great, other than Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, so I mean, it sucks. I'm very disappointed. I do think we'll make a couple moves in the postseason. There's always about one or two guys that feel like we pick up every single year. Somehow Eddie Rosario is going to end up in our lineup, or Jorge
Jock
Soler,
Peterson.
Jock Peterson, Solier,
Solier.
Actually, we already have Duval. I'm saying because normally we don't have Duval. We've already reacquired Jesse Chavez this year. We re-signed him already. So our postseason roster is coming into play soon. Somehow we'll end up with Indert and Ciarte.
The one name, I don't know, he's never been a Brave, but it just randomly hit me. That was like, he's going to be a Brave, I got a feeling. George Springer.
I hope not.
I'm predicting it right now.
I hope not.
George Springer.
We need to go get some bullpen guys. There's just
Yes.
There's not a lot of valuable pitching available this year, from what I'm hearing. I heard one of the top names is Jesus Luzardo. I don't know if that can be considered a top name. He's having an all right year, but he's got control until 2026. So I've heard he's one of the top pitching available, which kind of scares me. The hitting is definitely where it's at this year, and we just don't need. Like Vlad and Pete Alonso and a couple other guys are your big trade targets, and we don't need either one of those guys. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like we won't reach at the trade deadline. Hopefully, there's a couple guys that I'm in our farm system that I'm hoping we don't trade. One of them's Hurston Waldrip. He's actually got promoted to AAA today. He's our top pitching prospect. I hope we don't trade him for some bats. He had 11 Ks in his AAA debut today. So we need a guy like that to actually pan out when we call him up. So I hope we don't overreact like you think.
Yeah, we're kind of, when I say we, I mean the Red Sox, is surprisingly going into this year, I thought pitching was going to be a problem. But shout out to Andrew Bailey, pitching coach. He has actually turned the Red Sox pitching staff and rotation into something this year. We are the opposite of the Braves. We just need bats, but I don't think we are going to make moves. I don't think the Red Sox are going to make moves because they don't have depth to make moves. They do have a good farm system. Don't get me wrong. I could see them maybe moving on from a guy like Blaze Jordan, who's been a prospect for a couple of years now and doesn't really seem like he's going to be panning out for them or has a role for the future with the Red Sox. So I could see something like that, but I hope we're not going to move on from guys like Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, Kyle Teal. It just doesn't make sense. We also just don't have a lot of good pitching prospects. So there's nobody that's going to bring in a big bat for us that we can send out there. And we're also known for having horrendous trades. Look at Mookie Betts, right? That just haunts me still to this day. Shout out Connor Wong for still being on the team, unlike Jeter Downs, who is somewhere probably sucking ass. So
damn.
I hated that trade from the get-go. When I saw it was going to happen, I knew we were going to get fleeced. And there was a little point there's a point before the trade was finalized that the Red Sox were rumored to give is it Brusdar Gatterall?
Yeah.
The pitcher. Again, I don't know how good he's doing right now, but there was a rumor that we could get him. And when I saw he was the big name that we were going to get for Mookie Betts, the guy that's constantly in the MVP running, I just knew it was going to be, but baseball trades are always weird, right? Stars for prospects get younger, stars for prospects get younger. Well, we tried to do that, and we got Jeter Downs and Connor Wong, and it is what it is. So yeah, I hope the Braves don't reach. I don't think the Red Sox will do any moves, and we can talk more about this when it happens. But the Red Sox just don't have depth to make moves.
Yeah, I think we're still a couple months away from the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
So
because it's usually the All-Star game doesn't even. I mean, that's just still I feel like far away. So a lot has to happen for the trade deadline and all of those mid-season talks and conversations to be had.
Yeah, for sure.
The Mets though, and we'll wrap this up. I saw the Mets though. There's a report that they're looking to shop their entire roster. Like everybody's available.
Damn.
And that just summarizes
The Mets.
what's been going on with the Mets in the recent news, and that just summarizes everything. That I saw a report that was like the Mets are making everyone available. So if they don't get rid of them at the deadline, then in the offseason, they are all available. So
That's sick. I mean, Frankie Lindor. I mean, I don't know how he's doing now. I feel like I haven't heard his name in a couple years.
yes, I feel like guys that's just one of those teams. Every league has one. One of those teams where guys just go and they just rot away, and their careers just become unheard of, and not talked about. And it's unfortunate, but fortunate for you. I mean, they are in your division, so
Yeah, no, I love it.
you'll take it.
Live in Miami.
Oh, and can we get some claps? Angel Hernandez, get your ass out of here.
He's
One of the most controversial umpires in MLB history. He made his debut, I was reading, in 2001. He was not let go. He was a retirement. I know.
It was definitely forced.
All the reports like it is not forced. Like this was a mutual agreement. I think I saw he was like 62 years old. Hear me out. It was definitely forced.
The ball could be right here, and that shit would be a strike.
But then the ball could be right down the pipe.
Ball.
Outside, inside, outside, little inside.
Dude,
that guy was the most controversial umpire.
That dude made his debut before I was born.
Yeah, I was 1 year old.
I was 0 years old. That's nuts. What a geezer.
And but like, this is big news because like, well, that your hair did something funky.
Yeah, I know. I saw it.
But it's big news when everybody's talking about it, right? Because like usually when umpires, that's not big news unless it's Angel Hernandez. When I tell you, and I'm not over exaggerating, this dude was the most controversial man in all of baseball, one of the most hated men in all of baseball.
Yeah.
We just talked about it. His calls behind the plate. There's so many probably big moments where he got involved that fans can remember and probably have like death wishes for him.
Was he the ump behind Armando Galarraga's perfect game? Because I know that anniversary actually just happened. I don't know if he was the one that blew the perfect game or not. Look that up.
Yep, I got you right here. Here's an article of him having 3 straight called strikes on pitches that were outside the zone. He was getting hate for that. Let me look.
Type in Armando Galarraga. Angel Hernandez.
Okay, here we go. The top worst Angel Hernandez calls in MLB history. Let's see. His sources from the New York Post.
Oh, okay.
So Kyle Schwarber, there's a call, and Schwarber lost his mind. Umpire Angel Hernandez rang up Wyatt Langford on 3 consecutive pitches that were outside the zone. The strikeout pitch missed outside by 6.78 inches. An Atlanta embarrassment, a late 90s Mets catastrophe. What else we got? A home run denied. The double play that should never have been. The list goes on and on. I'm trying to look for.
The ump was Jim Joyce for Armando Galarraga.
Okay, so it wasn't. Oh yeah, because I didn't see that. Hernandez won't leave a call. So the fact that you can have a list of the amount of terrible calls that he's had just proves our point of how shit of an ump he was. And when I tell you people celebrated this, usually you don't celebrate retirements. Well,
I mean, we're talking about it on humans.
Yes. He was celebrated in a way of like, get the hell out of here. We're so happy that you're
Yeah.
finally leaving and we don't ever want to see you again. Um, but I wish him the best. He wants to go spend time with his family, just hopefully he doesn't make any controversial decisions within his family.
Yeah, he's
So
an idiot. Don't let the door hit you on the
he's an
way
idiot.
out, bitch.
Yeah, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Him and Zach Edey can have a beer together. Fuck off. All right, next.
Damn. Aggressive.
the NBA finals are set. The
That transition. Sorry. Let's keep going here.
the two teams that we predicted in last week's episode, the Celtics and the Mavericks. The Mavericks took care of the Timberwolves in 5, and the Celtics swept the Pacers. As of late, it just seemed like those were the two teams that were going
I feel like the
to.
past week, that was kind of like the obvious picks.
Yes. And now I'll be following. Again, I still won't be watching, but I'll be following. Caleb, predict the series. Who's going to win and how many
Boston,
games?
5 games.
I was going to say Boston in 6. I still think it's Boston's trophy, finals to lose, championship to lose. So they're just really good. When you can have Tatum and Brown and just other pieces complement you, Derek White, all those guys, they're just a really good team. Yeah, Kristaps Porzingis. And I saw a photo because Kyrie was a former Celtic and Porzingis was a former Maverick. So it's kind of like Tatum gets Luka's guy and Luka got Tatum's guy. But yeah, I'll be following along. I won't be watching it, but that's a good series. Again.
Yeah, I think that Maverick series went a little too long with the Timberwolves. I'm saying Luka's not playing 100%, was what I heard. So that's not going to be good. I just think Boston will get it pretty much with ease.
But then you can also say Halliburton was out for the Pacers, and the Celtics were only winning by 3 points, I think.
Yeah, Celtics.
They were winning by.
Also got Donovan Mitchell and Jarrett Allen-less Cavs.
Correct. So how good are the Celtics truly? I think we will find out this series. This is the first series. Luka might not be 100, but Luka's still going to do Luka things. Kyrie's there.
Kyrie's balling out of his mind right now.
And I'm so happy for him. I will never hate Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, he said some weird shit, but he's come back around as like, I think people forgot how good he was in the midst of him saying weird stuff.
Because do you kind of remember that moment in his career where you just Nets, Celtics, you just didn't hear about him anymore. And now he's finally getting talked about in a positive manner. But yes, he did say some weird shit. I will agree.
Yeah, I feel like
once upon a time.
That once I don't want to say shut up and dribble because that's never. That's terrible. But once he finally stopped saying weird shit, people still like him again. So maybe that benefited him.
No, it's good to see him bringing back. Because he's a stud. He's arguably one of the best ball handlers, finishers around the rim. Just clutch moments.
Yeah, he's nasty. I mean, don't get me wrong. His game is insane. By far the best ball handler in the NBA. He's nasty. I'm excited for him, man.
Likes to handle those balls. Yeah.
Balls.
All right. I'm the king at very weird transitions here. Now we're going to talk about Bill Walton. So I apologize.
Bro, what is this episode? You suck at this today. This is crazy.
I can build it up and kind of bullshit into the next topic, but here we got a lot to talk about. I'm in a good mood, so let's go from Kyrie's ball handling to Bill Walton.
Let's go from Kyrie's balls to Bill Walton. Let's
go. Unfortunately, on May 27th, Bill Walton passed away at the age of 71. I don't have much. A guy like O.J. Simpson, we talked about this before. I just don't have much of an opinion on this. I didn't like Bill Walton. I was never a fan of him on the mic. I just can't say much about him. Yes, it's unfortunate that he passed away. And he was, there might be fans and individuals that are attached to him, but he was a pretty big name, and he deserves to get the recognition and the remembrance that he's getting. But for me personally, sending prayers and thoughts and love to his family.
Yeah. I saw a clip of him and Rachel Nichols from the Jump. And it was just a really cool clip. Apparently he was a super down to earth guy, just a big hippie. Like I think he said he went over like 1,200 Grateful Dead concerts. Yeah, like he was just a massive hippie. And that was just good at basketball. So I mean, it's just kind of cool. It seems like he was a pretty down to earth chill guy. His commentary was subpar, but hell of a ball player, Hall of Famer, Big Red.
Hall of Famer, yeah. I think class of '93. I read for Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I have no clue on what year, but still sad to see a Hall of Famer pass away.
Absolutely, and he was a legendary UCLA star, and during his college years. So, again, send thoughts and prayers to his family. But he's before my time.
Yeah,
I can safely say that.
I remember
is him on the mic, and who's
Luke Walton. That's actually the coach.
Oh wait, really? I guess I never
really
put that connection together. I also hate his son. So
yeah,
again, man, we're just dogging on people. We hate your son. Now, next topic. Individual passes away.
Welcome to One Trick Ponies.
You, but we hate your son. Now we're on to the next topic. All right. Well, I kind of want to talk about this because we've I don't know how much you've been following this, but again, she's an exceptional athlete, and I'm going to follow her career. Again, she was also from the state of Iowa, so I'm going to follow her career. But, recently, what's been going on in the WNBA with Jaylen Clark is actually wild.
Facts. It's crazy.
And it's just confusing because she is bringing. I mean, I was with my fiance and her family yesterday, and we were having a bite to eat early morning or late morning, early afternoon, and we were at some local restaurant, and they had Jaylen Clark's NBA game on versus the Chicago Sky. If you would have said there was a WNBA game on a year ago, people would not be interested. They would say, "Why the hell is that on?" But what Jaylen Clark has been doing, not just to fans, but not to just her fans, but basketball fans, everybody, and you have individuals talking about it. Robert Griffin III has been talking about it. There's just so many different personnel that probably were never following WNBA basketball until Jaylen Clark got into the league. And now that she's here, it's just like what the WNBA is doing to her after what she's doing for the league itself. It's just crazy. Yesterday against Chicago Sky, it was a guard, Kennedy Carter, I believe her name is.
Yeah.
She made a jumper, and then when the Fever were inbounding the ball, she just comes up behind Jaylen Clark and just absolutely checks her. Yeah, and she checks her. Jaylen Clark hits the ground, and you see at the top of the screen, Angel Reese is like clapping and like cheering out. And it was called just a off the ball foul, and then it actually was elevated to a flagrant one today. The Fever won that game by 1 point, and then Angel Reese got fined for not showing up to media afterwards because she doesn't want to talk after a loss. Like, there's just and she was probably gonna get asked about Jaylen Clark. It's just so confusing how the WNBA is treating Jaylen Clark right now. Like they play the Liberty today on Sunday, and that'll be a good game. The Liberty are one of the best teams, and the Fever are one of the worst teams. So hopefully it's a good game. But how some of these vets are treating Caitlin Clark is actually wild. And when she goes to the press conferences and when media asks her about it, it's sad to hear her say, yeah, I'm just used to it and I'm not going to retaliate. So I just got to let it happen. It's basketball. That's not basketball. Hear me out. What Kennedy Carter did to her is not basketball. And she also like doubled down on it and tweeted out today, what else is she good at besides shooting 3-pointers?
Yeah.
And somebody had a screenshot of this Kennedy Carter stats and Caitlin Clark stats. And Caitlin Clark has double the amount of rebounds that this Kennedy Carter girl averages. Same with assists, same with steals, same with blocks. So when you're talking smack about someone who is statistically better than you in every category,
probably more turnovers too.
That is true. Caitlin Clark has a flaw of turning the ball over. But like, you have no room to talk. Also, this is the first time you've probably ever made headlines. I don't know who this girl is. She's been in the league for like 4 years. Who the hell is Kennedy Carter? Right? You're just trying to make a name for yourself off of somebody who's doing something good for the league, like doing it in a better way.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. People want to tear other people down when they have the spotlight instead of working the same amount as that person. We see it in every league. It's ridiculous. That in particular, I don't know how she didn't get ejected from the game. I mean, it was an obvious foul. Intentional. It was some Draymond level stuff. It was ridiculous. It actually irritated me.
Envy is a wild thing, not just in sports, but just, in every person's life. When you have somebody that's envious and jealous of other individuals, it's just, it ruins so many great things for so many great moments. I think me and you, we do a great job of like being friends, but also when you do something good, I say good job. I might be less animated than you are.
Yeah.
I may be less animated than you are, but I'm never going to do something out of envy towards you.
Yeah.
Because I've also seen when I first met you to where you are now, like you've grown tremendously as an individual. We won't get into this, but like I'm never going to be jealous of it or like put you down and try to put you back to where you were. And it just seems like all these people, because Caitlin Clark is so good, they just want to humble her.
Yeah.
Hear me out. She's getting humbled every game by getting shoulder checked and tripped and elbowed and not doing anything about it. She's staying in her lane. She's also on one of the worst teams in the league, so she doesn't have much to brag about right now. The Indiana Fever suck.
Yeah.
And envy is just a wild thing, and it's unfortunate because I do think Caitlin Clark's a good person, and I do think some of these girls that are giving her backlash are also good people, but they're just not showing it right now. And envy sucks. Don't be envious. So
I like that.
Whew. That was a good conversation, Caleb.
Yes.
Man, we got stuff to talk about. It's so nice to
it's so refreshing to have something that we're passionate about, like Caitlin Clark stuff. Like you love to talk about Caitlin Clark, local hero.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like it's just cool that finally we have all this type of news to talk about.
And hopefully we don't jinx it. And then next week we're just here like with crickets and, we say one or two sentences about something. And because although last week's episode was nice with like 40 minutes, I think it was, it just didn't seem like we had, enough to talk about, or we weren't covering things in the depth that we wanted to, because it was either one stuff we didn't care about, or stuff we were just trying to fish and make headlines about because there was nothing really that truly deserved the headlines, right?
Exactly.
And I will say we did jinx Shota.
We did jinx the hell out of Shota.
Shota Imanaga, pitcher for the Cubs. I think last week when we spoke about him, he had a sub-1 ERA. Then he faced the
Brewers.
Yes. And he got absolutely shelled. But to go off of what we said last week, he is still one of the nicest humans I've ever not met in my life. he like released a statement how it was like, I had rest and I thought I was ready to go. And I am so sorry, Mr. Counsel. I let you down. I was just like, damn.
Yeah, you
This
can't
guy
hate
like
that
truly
guy.
cares.
Yeah, you can't hate that
He
guy.
truly cares about his job.
I think I'm gonna get a Shota jersey. I think I've made that executive decision. I love that guy. That guy is he's so cool. He's so respectful.
He's cool.
He's just like, I play baseball.
And he's not trying to be cool.
No, that's just
him.
It's
just truly him. Because you could tell when guys are trying to be cool and fit in.
Or
this
be
dude,
different.
I think, is just like, yes, correct. And I think this guy is just truly himself. Because when they were in New York earlier this season, he also said something like, "Oh, I didn't know we were in the city where Spider-Man lived," and that was like a genuine thing.
Yeah,
and this guy just
it's so cool.
So, but unfortunately, we did jinx him. So I hope that his next outing is a good one because he doesn't deserve any jinx. He deserves to have the Rookie of the Year locked up and hopefully a top of the rotation guy for the Chicago Cubs. So, now, lastly, that was a good transition there.
Better.
Finally, one for 8.
Clap it up. Clap it up.
On to football. There's some pretty big contract extensions, Caleb, and I'll let you give your thoughts on that because I just got done. I need a breath of talking after.
Yeah. So 2 big receivers, 2 young guys, Nico Collins of the Texans, Jaylen Waddle of the Dolphins. Both got contract extensions. They're both 3-year extensions, I believe. I think you have the numbers.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So Waddle signed a contract extension to 2028, and the contract was
3 years, $72 million. I remember seeing that somewhere.
3-year, 84. 84 million, including 18 million signing bonus and 76 million guaranteed.
So yeah, I mean, getting Waddle locked up for the next little bit. You got Tyreek, I think, locked up for the next little bit. Just keep getting those. You need to sign Tua. No, they signed Tua.
I'm not sure on the Tua money. All I know is the Dolphins have a lot of guys that they need to pay. So Tua, he signed a 4-year, $30 million contract with the Dolphins. I'm trying to see trying to see when this was. It doesn't say when it was.
Okay.
But so I don't think they have because it looks like his contract's going until 2024. Yeah. No, they have. I don't think they have.
So they haven't
extended anything with Tua.
Yeah, they have not extended Tua yet. So that'll probably be coming this season at some point. Kind of needs to play better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To really deserve a big contract.
Actually show up in the playoffs.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. They lost some key defensive pieces, which that's obviously not what we're talking about right now. But so that's good. He got paid. I think he deserved it. Nico, breakout season last year. He's super good. That Texans team is nasty. I mean, so you're going to have Stroud, under rookie deal for the next couple of years. You got his, I guess, number 2 receiver now locked up. I don't know what contract Diggs is on.
Yeah, they got Diggs, they got Collins, they got Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, Dell's on a rookie contract still. I know they re-signed Noah Brown, who had a couple really big games this past year. They re-signed him this offseason.
And Nico might have been the guy that you actually saw because his was 3 years, 72 million. And I think that's what you thought Waddle's was. But his was a 3-year deal worth 72 million with 52 million guaranteed. So they both got paid. Again, well-deserved. And hear me out. These extensions keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's pretty obvious, but these 2 aren't the best receivers in the league. So these receivers that are better than them, the money's going to keep getting bigger, and money talks. And these guys are already the the receivers, the running backs, the quarterbacks that are sitting out and waiting to get the money they deserve, they already have plenty of money, so they will wait or they will leave.
I'm staring at Justin Jefferson and seeing what's going to happen there because like
Yep.
Amon-Ra got paid, and
Yep.
Amon-Ra's great, but he's no Justin Jefferson. So I don't know what's going to happen. He's going to get paid quarterback money. I have a very strong feeling he's going to get paid quarterback money, as he should.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, you see in these B-level receivers, A- level receivers getting these big contract extensions, and we're still waiting for the A+ receivers. That the top of the totem pole, the guys like Justin Jefferson. His contract, I think, will break lots of earning records. I would agree with you there for his position.
Yeah. He will be the highest paid receiver of all time. There's no question about that.
Yes. As for right now, there obviously could be receivers down the road that could, be
Marvin Harrison will break that record.
Yes. But there is nobody in this league right now better than Justin Jefferson.
I agree.
Tyreek's the closest, I would say. Tyreek's the closest, but Justin Jefferson, he's an exceptional athlete. So I love seeing these contract extensions. I don't, it's not about the who's getting the contract extensions that I love. I just love seeing the amount of money in the contract.
It's nuts, bro. It is
$52 million guaranteed for Nico Collins.
It's so insane.
52. A human does not need $52 million in their life. But,
amen.
I mean, Nico's getting it.
Yeah, it's nuts. I love, like you said, I feel like every year the more and more crazy contracts that get put out. What was the year in basketball? Just the salary cap got like crazy up, and the free agent class sucked, but everybody got overpaid. Like Timothy Mozgov signed a $100 million deal.
Oh yeah, what was
that? Like it was the year Chandler Parsons got paid that year.
Because again, if you're that one guy to lock up a contract, I feel like you don't want to be the first guy in that term to lock up a contract extension, because then everybody else is going off of you.
Yeah, you're the sandstone.
You're going to be the one that gets the short end of the stick, and but still, the short end of the stick is what? Millions of dollars. So
exactly.
Are they really getting
still more money than either one of us will ever make combined?
Correct. So we love that, and this wasn't a record-breaking contract extension. It wasn't even an extension at all, but it was a signing, and this came to surprise for us because I wouldn't say we were fans of his, but we followed him and we knew who he was, and that's Gable Steveson. And if you don't know who Gable Steveson is, he is an Olympic gold medal wrestler. He wrestled for the University of Minnesota. His very decorated career. Tried WWE. That did not pan out. Kind of got in some legal trouble. Kind of set him back. I read, there were reports that he was just not picking up on things as quickly as WWE thought he would. And then all of a sudden, Caleb messaged me, hey, Gable Steveson just signed a rookie deal with the Buffalo Bills, and he will be playing on the defensive line. Don't know. I know he was good. He's a very good athlete. And I know he has a football background too, but he chose that wrestling route. And you can't say he had a bad choice with choosing wrestling because, again, he's an Olympic gold medalist, and he is a very
decorated
his trophy room in his house. Yeah, his trophy room in his house is probably full. So, but seeing a guy like that, because we've always seen kind of the other way around. Would you agree with Lesnar? He was a football player and then he went to WWE. The Rock was also a football player. He went to WWE, but The Rock's
Goldberg.
The Rock. But I feel Bobby Lashley, I think he also played football.
Roman Reigns.
So we see the football route to the WWE route because, again, if you have the physical traits to play professional football, then, you have a spot on a WWE roster. But now seeing Gable go from wrestling to football is very interesting because he didn't just go play for some random league. He's playing for the NFL, the National Football League.
Yeah.
Also on a team that is very, very, has a lot of questions, but has been historically in recent years very good. I did read he has an opportunity to join Bob Hayes as the only athlete ever to win a Super Bowl ring and an Olympic gold medal.
Huh.
Don't know who Bob Hayes is, but putting your name on that list, that short list, is pretty incredible. So I hope he turns his career around again. He had some legal trouble. He was kind of
I think he
not
got
the
cleared.
greatest of
I think
humans.
he got cleared, to be fair.
Oh, he did? Okay. Because I know that kind of like put a hiccup in his career.
Yeah,
So
I think he got cleared.
But the NFL is no joke. So I'm curious to see him play football. I've never seen him play football.
I think he was like, was he like a 4-star, 5-star high school?
Yes, because he was getting recruited. I know before making his decision to play football, he was getting recruited because he was just an exceptional athlete. And also before the NFL rumors, he was being looked at and rumored as he was training MMA.
Yeah, UFC.
And so, joining Bellator, the PFL, whatever, he had an opportunity potentially to do that as well. So all I know is this guy has been looked at very highly throughout his career, his sporting career. And now he's with the Buffalo Bills.
And I feel like if it doesn't work out for whatever reason in the NFL, he'll do that MMA route. I mean,
yes,
the great wrestling to MMA route. Look at Bo Nickel.
Mm-hmm. Well, I also think like wrestling, football, those kind of just feed off of each other. Like in Iowa, we hear that if you want to play, high school athletes hear that if you want to play football at the next level, you also need to wrestle. Because, that just teaches you
getting guys
so many characteristics and, abilities to have when you want to go play college sports. So, and then also if you want to play wrestling, if you want to wrestle in college, you also need to play football. Just the contact aspect, the aggressive aspect, the having a strong mind aspect. So wrestling and football kind of feed off of each other very well. And there's a history. We've just never seen it go from wrestling to football. We've always just seen it from football to wrestling. So there are many dual sport athletes that are great that have made the switch and have had careers in both of those sports in the name for themselves. So
yeah,
I wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, I know. It's just cool to see another dual sport athlete be born. So now I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he gets trading cards because I will buy a Gable Steveson rookie card. That'd be pretty cool.
Knowing the industry we're in, and they're all about money, so I wouldn't be surprised if he has
it'd be pretty cool though.
A couple printed. Well, now this gets us to the fun part of recent episodes. This will be our third draft.
Ooh.
I will get into it, but what I want to say is when we were trying to decide a draft for today's episode, we rattled off our topics, and me and Caleb had this thing that sometimes it's freaking weird, but at the same time we typed multi-sport athlete draft. Same time. Out of all the things we just talked about, and we could have fed off, because we usually like to have a draft that goes with a topic or something recent. And at the same time, we said multi-sport athletes.
Like, say second.
Yes, he FaceTimed me and said, what? And I just said, shut up. Just stop it. Like, I don't believe this. I think I told him to leave the Snapchat room and then come back in. Yeah, leave the Snapchat message and then come back in because I just didn't believe it. But so today's draft, we are going to do multi-sport athletes, our top 5. Again, if you've been in our drafts before, you pick by thinking who the other person's gonna pick. You want to build the best team. And then at the end, we will ask, who do you think won the draft?
Yep.
So Caleb, since I went last week, I will let you go this week. Who are you starting off with for multi-sport athletes?
Give me prime time. That's the gimme. Yeah. That's the gimme. Number 2 should be.
You don't need you don't need explanation for that, and I don't think I need explanation for mine. Bo Jackson.
Bang. That was number 2. Bo Jackson's easy there. Number 3 for me is a little. I mean, I guess number 2 for me, a little personal. Julius Peppers. He played college
Mhm.
basketball. I love J Pep, being a UNC guy. I believe he's one of the only players to ever appear in a Final Four and a Super Bowl.
Interesting. Um, so I had fun with this list. So these by far aren't the best
Okay, so
single sport
we had
athlete.
the same mindset then, because mine is not
Yes.
the athlete here. It's interesting stuff.
So I went with Todd Helton.
Damn.
So Todd Helton, he's obviously known as one of the Colorado Rocky greats for baseball, but he also played football. And for 3 weeks, Todd Helton started for the Tennessee Vols.
Huh.
And he suffered a knee injury. And guess who came in and began his legendary career? That's right, Peyton Manning.
That's so cool.
So
That's cool.
Todd Helton was listed on the depth chart as the number 2. He was behind Jerry Colquitt. Well, Jerry Colquitt tore up his knee in the season opener against UCLA, and then Helton got a chance against UCLA, Georgia, and Florida. Well, then he suffered a knee injury, and then Peyton Manning was born.
That's sick. I like that.
But then, yes, he was a great Colorado Rocky.
Yeah, that's cool. Mine,
So,
less cool of a story. It's a weird one that I found interesting. Boston Scott. Football.
Ooh, yeah.
He is a professional esports Rocket League player now. He retired from the NFL and is an esports athlete. That's multi-sport.
What?
For real. That's pretty cool.
Okay. No, that is cool. I'll give it to you. I just caught on guard because
I told you I went weird here.
So my next one, man, I was sticking with like baseball guys to another sport, but Tony Gwynn. Do you know the history of Tony Gwynn?
I don't.
So Tony played basketball in the 70s, and he was selected in the 10th round of the NBA draft. This is when the NBA had obviously more than 2 rounds. And you should see this photo. But this man had an afro.
Oh yeah.
And during the times he just fit, he fit the times. But he had a really good basketball career in college, and at San Diego State, he set assist records for career and a season.
Jeez.
But then the Tony Gwynn that everybody knows, hitting machine for the Padres, many 8 batting titles and 7 Silver Slugger awards. So he's known for baseball. But when I saw the photo of him playing basketball and the afro that he had, it makes me question what I'm doing with my hair, because that afro is pretty cool.
With me, I went baseball to football next.
Okay.
Russell Wilson.
Yep. That was one.
So this is a cool one. Most people know this story. He was drafted as a Colorado Rocky in 2010. Played college football, NC State and Wisconsin. Obviously, he's now Super Bowl champ, multi-time Pro Bowler. He actually, I believe in 2015, played spring training with the Yankees.
Yep.
Again, he tried to make another slight comeback. Pretty cool. Never really a serious baseball player, as it was always he committed to football, but was drafted and played in multiple seasons of spring training for baseball.
Gotcha. Well, my third pick, this dude pretty much played every sport in college, and he was really good at all of them, and that is Jackie Robinson. So Jackie, he was a civil rights pioneer, obviously. He was just a phenomenal athlete. But at UCLA, he earned varsity letters in 4 sports: baseball, football, track, and basketball. And he won the men's long jump at nationals in 1940.
Wow.
So that dude was just, I don't have any, obviously, like remembrance or moments of Jackie Robinson's career, but seeing, 42 is one of my favorite movies, and I thought that was one of the most well-produced movies of my time, and I will always go back and watch that. But just his speed and how he was talked about with this, his instincts and athleticism and his ability to just deal with whatever was thrown at him makes him a great athlete, and at that a great multi-sport athlete. So,
well, I'm gonna also go with a older player that I have no recollection of playing. I actually do know somebody who's related to this individual, which is kind of cool. Going with Dave Winfield. So Dave Winfield, drafted by 4 different professional teams. He was drafted in the NBA draft by the Atlanta Hawks, the Utah Stars of the ABA draft, the Padres, and the Minnesota Vikings. I just thought that was crazy. He's the only individual that's ever been drafted by 4 professional teams. I was like, that's crazy.
And you got to think, like, we hear how hard it is to be a professional athlete in one sport.
Exactly.
These guys that we're talking about, bro,
could have played all.
They were juggling. They were juggling so many different, on top of just their main sport. They were, and a lot of these multi-sport athletes, their second sport, they didn't really, make much of it because they obviously had to choose one or the other. But some of these guys were crazy good at both sports, and they had to make the unfortunate decision when it comes to, financial reasons and what do you think you have more future with. You have to cut one off, and some of these guys are great. So my fourth one, hopefully you know about this guy because he's a Brave. But do you know the story of Tom Glavine?
I don't.
Well, Tom Glavine was like some crazy hockey player.
Really?
Yes, he in high school he was the MVP of his team, and the Los Angeles Kings drafted him in the 4th round in 1984. So that's that. But I mean, Tom Glavine, great pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, but he was one hell of a hockey player. So
interesting. I do have a couple honorable mentions. If we'd like to get,
let's get those at the end. Do your 5th over. Have you done 5 already?
Yeah, that was 5.
That was 4. I did
Dion.
Bo. Okay. Bo.
Julius Peppers.
Todd Helton.
Boston Scott.
Tony Gwynn.
Russell Wilson.
Okay, I forgot how to count. All right, go to your honorable mentions.
I was like, I definitely did 5.
All right, respect.
Kyler Murray, drafted top 10 of 2 different leagues.
Yep.
Greg Hardy, NFL at UFC.
Yep.
Brock is probably the most notable 3-sport.
Yep.
They kind of go together. Bob Gibson and Fergie Jenkins were also Harlem Globetrotters.
I did read about that when I was kind of just making my list.
I was like, that's pretty cool. I know. So a guy I work with is a big historical basketball guy. Mm-hmm. We've talked about Bob Gibson as a Harlem Globetrotter before because he was 1 season away he missed Wilt Chamberlain by 1 season. So Bob Gibson and Wilt could have been Harlem Globetrotters together.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, he's talking about that. I was like, that's pretty unique stuff there.
So I only have. I mean, I could obviously say Tim Tebow, guys like that, but I have one, and I want to count him as an honorable mention. And I know for a fact you have no clue about this, and if you do, I will give you a bunch of credit. But do you know Jeff Samardzija?
The pitcher?
Yeah.
Nope.
You know what he looks like, right? That dude does not look like a super athlete.
No.
Wrong. This dude, his senior year, finished as the runner-up behind Calvin Johnson in the Fred Biletnikoff Award.
What?
He was an All-American wide receiver at Notre Dame in the mid-2000s.
Yeah, like what, 06?
He could have been a high-round NFL draft pick in 07. He caught 78 passes for just over 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns his senior year. And then he finished behind Calvin Johnson for the Fred Biletnikoff Award. But the Cubs beat him, he
That's
obviously
nuts.
went to the Chicago
I had
Cubs.
no clue of that. I feel like we should know that.
He's a 2014 All-Star in the MLB. Like, he was a lefty. He played in the majors for 13 seasons. But yeah,
That's crazy.
he he was apparently just behind Calvin Johnson. And you got to think about Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, like probably any other season he would have won it, but Calvin is.
And, Calvin Johnson and the fact that Jeff Samardzija is behind Calvin Johnson in the same conversation as.
It's nuts.
So, yeah, he was a wide receiver at Notre Dame. And that's kind of the one that I wanted to talk about. Because
That's so
that
cool.
one just completely blew my mind. So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That was a fun draft.
I like that draft.
So, you guys listening and at home and watching these clips and videos, let us know who you thought won. Last week's episode, somebody on TikTok said without having an advantage, Caleb won the the color draft. That's BS. And it was clearly a bot account that probably Caleb created, knowing him. But your draft sucked. Nobody knows what a golden apple is from Minecraft. Go back to the drawing board. Yeah, do your little dance. But this week, I'm confident that I'm taking this draft.
No, you're not.
I can't keep getting L. I can't keep taking L's. That's
no. I'm definitely gonna lose to the Boston Scott pick's gonna cost me there. I think.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, nerd, shut up.
I just thought it was cool.
That's what I wanted to say.
I should have went Kyler instead of Boston Scott, but it wasn't as cool.
You fumbled the bag. The bag of $0 and everything that we're making off of this podcast. You fumbled that bag, Gil.
Yeah. Ooh.
All right. Well, your Wi-Fi is turning into shit, and we're going to just wrap up this episode. Oh, man. Another great transition there. But, Caleb, this is a fun episode. It's great to have sports doing things that are controversial and stuff to talk about. So,
Brandon McManus has just been released by the Commanders.
Because what did he do? I saw he got in like some trouble.
Allegations.
Can you just say like briefly what they are?
SA. I don't know if I can say it.
Yep. That's what I thought it was. So yeah, I read something that was kind of leaking out about that. So
yeah,
well,
just happened.
Hopefully, it's not one of those things. Play some little music here.
Yes.
That's your cue. Let's try it. Oh shit! Okay, let's try it again.
This just in. Breaking news. Brandon McManus released by the Commanders over SA allegations.
Tune in next week to figure out what happens next. All right. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah,
there's been so many awkward pauses.
Follow us on social media. This is your part.
You're stealing my part? Oh yeah, this is my part. We appreciate everybody who keeps this podcast alive, even the ones that hate us. Follow us on social media. Before I get to that, Caleb, when I came to sit down, my dad looked at me. He's like, "Do people even watch that podcast?"
Nope.
I said, "Dad, what are you trying to say?" He said, "Oh, I was just curious." And he's like, "Do I need to watch it?" And I said, "Dad, I'm not going to beg you to watch the podcast. You either choose or you don't. Whether you watch it or not, we don't care. If this had 0 views, we still don't care. Because we can go back, and when we want to go laugh, we can watch the so we don't care. But follow us on social medias if you want to. Subscribe, like, comment, share your thoughts. the One Trick Ponies, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and I always forget one, Spotify. Keep it up. We love you guys. Caleb, do your thing. Let's get out of here.